Good morning and welcome to Shakti Flow. Let's take a minute to center here. So closing eyes, let your hands rest on your lap, finding that quiet, still point, allowing the abdomen to relax and the breath to move downward. This week I've been using a word that I've enjoyed. It's kind of fun to say. It's called spanda. Spanda. And it means to contract and expand with ease. Contract and expand with ease. And so we can apply that to our physical body, contraction when we're working hard and expansion when we're becoming more open, expansive, lighter. We do that in class all the time. We can also expand it out into our thoughts, our ideas around our thoughts. Contracting, you know how that feels. You're a little rigid, you're a little bit closed-minded, if you will. And expansive, more open-minded, more free with ideas and other people's ideas. And you can also take that idea out into your daily life, contracting and expanding. Both are needed. Neither one is wrong or right. They're just what we do as a human. We pull into ourselves and then we expand outward. And the trick with spanda is to do it with ease. Notice what happens in your mind when you're doing something that you're not comfortable with, or you're listening to something that you're not comfortable with. Do you go into contraction and stay there and get stuck? Or can you move back out into expansion, ebb and flow? So as we move today, and we'll play with stillness and movement, expansion and contraction, just notice your own responses. So bringing the hands to the heart center, holding that intention, and maybe anything else that you've brought with you to the mat. And let the class and the practice and the intention be exactly what you need this morning. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, hands come down, eyes can flutter open. All right, so I've been doing this move lately the last couple of weeks. I want to do it one more time today. So I want you to have your blocks near you and your weights, whatever it is that you're going to use, near you. We're going to start on the floor. And I'm going to use my lighter weights today for some of my movement, only because my body feels a little bit tired. So lie down on your back. Lie down on your back. And bend your knees. Isn't that nice to lay down right away? Bend your knees and just put your knees together and your feet apart in constructive rest pose. And so as we're here, I'm going to stay seated. I want you to take your fingers to your collarbones and feel your collarbones. And then I want you to drop down just underneath your collarbones. You'll feel a little bit of soft, hollow, almost like area. Can you find that? It's not close to your sternum. It's a little wider towards your shoulder. So you're just under your collarbones. And then I just want you to tap right there. Tap, 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 tap. Tapping yourself in these two places, these energetic points. You can keep your eyes closed if you like. And I just have all my 4 fingers and I'm just tapping in this general area, nice and light. Why am I doing this? Because it helps us to come back to ourselves. It helps us to stay integrated. We can feel expansive and grounded and more inward all at the same time. Good. Then go ahead and put your arms down by your sides, palms down. And bring your knees into a neutral position, feet into a neutral position. Think of bridge pose. And I want you to push into your arms and your hands and press your hips up away from the floor. I don't care how high it is, it doesn't matter. Notice if you're pressing into all four corners of your feet, especially your big toe side and your outer heel side. Now, as you take your inhale, I want you to lower your hips and bring your arms up over your head. And then I want you to lift your hips, exhale, and bring your hands back down. Inhale, arms up, hips down, big expansion. Exhale, hips up, arms down. And what I want you to do is challenge yourself just a little bit with how your body is moving through space. Does it feel fluid, expansive? Or does it feel a little contracted and kind of tight? And so we're playing with these both and ideas, right? We contract and we expand, but we don't want to stay in that contracted, tight place. Let's do one more. And as you exhale, hands down, stay lifted with your hips. Shoulders can roll under you a little bit. Press down with your hands and your arms to activate the back body right away. Breathing. Finding a little bit of flow, expansion in the back body while it's contracting. One more breath. And then exhale, hips down, knees to chest. Give them a little hug. Now I always like to rock a little bit side to side, just helps me to feel more stable. And then from here, I want you to bring your feet back down to the floor. Hands are going to go behind your head. And I want you to open your elbows so that they're towards the floor here. You may or may not touch the floor, and that's actually a nice thing to notice. So as you inhale, lift your belly, feel the expansion in your belly. Your lower back will lift away from the floor, and your elbows are going to push down. As you exhale, bring your lower belly and back down and bring your elbows towards your side of your head. So the inhale lifts the back of the belly, opens the elbows, and the exhale closes the elbows as you contract your abdomen. Now I'm going to add on to this. You can stay here if you like. Next time you exhale, elbows come forward and you're going to lift your head up. When you go down, inhaling, elbows open, expanding the belly. Exhaling. Now you can stay here. I want your hands behind your head so that there's support there. On purpose, bring your elbows in and then lift your head up. And it's okay to, I don't want you to pull on your head, but I do want you to support it. And it's okay that your chin moves down because we're working with not only expansion and contraction, but fluidity of the spine. Last piece here. As you come up, the next time, bring one knee up, and if you're bringing your elbows, go towards that knee, go back down, open elbows, expand, exhale, contract, lifting up, bring your other knee up and go towards that knee if you're lifting your elbows. So little diagonal movement here. We're going to play with diagonals today a little bit. Inhaling. And so I do this movement quite often. And what I'm noticing in my own body is that I'm fairly tight this morning. I'm fairly contracted. Because normally I can get a lot closer to my knee. And I'm laughing because, you know, we are experiencing life through our body all the time, through our senses and our physical body. And depending on how well you sleep or how you're feeling, your body will show you whether you're contracted or expanded. Do one more. Good. And then pause there. Go back to constructed rest. Just pause and rest. Just notice if anything shifted, if you feel any difference in your body. Maybe yes, maybe no. I personally feel a lot more expansion, a lot more energy, if you will, around my chest and my collarbones and throat. Okay, so now rolling over onto your side, pressing yourself into a tabletop position. We did this last week too, so we're going to play with this, but first let's do tabletop. So cat pose, cow pose, inhaling heart, eyes, and tailbone up. Flip your feet, exhaling, pressing into arms. So you're flexing and expanding the spine again in a bigger way now. Push with your arms, make them active. Inhaling last time. And exhaling. Okay, now find a neutral position, someplace where you feel comfortable. And I want you to lift your left hand off the floor, don't bend your elbow, and your right knee off the floor. And then from there, stretch your arm out. You can stay there, or you can exhale, bring your elbow and your knee to touch. Inhale, stretch apart. Exhale, elbow and knee to touch. One more time. Inhale, stretch apart. Exhale, knee to touch. Good. Back to table. And again, your toes, I always turn my toes under. I feel more stable that way, but you can always flatten your feet and push down that way also. Left knee and foot and right hand, reaching away. Stay here, or elbow and knee touches on your exhale. Inhale, stretch apart. Exhale. Inhale. Last time, exhale. And inhale. Good. Hands down, knees down. Turn your toes under now. Separate your fingers. Use all of your fingertips into the mat. Lift your knees just off the floor. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Reach back as if you're trying to stretch your lower back and arms. Walk your hands a little tiny bit further forward. Come forward. So now that you're over your hands, you're not exactly in table. And then lift your knees again for 3, 2, and 1. Put your knees down and stretch back again. This time, move your hands as far forward as you can so that you're in extended child's pose. Inhale, come forward, come right over your hands. Now you're in a modified plank pose. Knees up. 3, 2, and this time go back, downward facing dog pose. Take a minute to relax here, maybe pedal your heels. It always feels good, your first dog pose of the day. Try not to be too rigid. Make sure your arms are hugging your midline of your head. You feel like your shoulders are moving away from your ears, not towards your ears. Feel free to bend your knees and straighten your legs. And then take a little walk to the front of your mat, a little walkabout. You get where you're going and you pause. Let your head dangle, let your arms relax. Soften your knees so that you're not pulling on the back of your lower spine. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen. Now this time stay there. I want you to take your hands to the tops of your thighs. The heel of your hand is right up by your hip crease. Push your legs like you're trying to move your legs backward, and you'll feel your chest move forward. From there, stand. Inhale, arms come over your head. And then exhale, hands to heart, and then pause. Okay, nice job. All right, so grab a hold of one of your blocks. had one of these mornings with my hair. I don't want it down, and it won't stay up. I can't find my clip, you know, it's one of those days where I wish I had like bald head. Hold your block. If you want to use your second block between your legs to keep your legs quiet, you can absolutely do that. I don't mean quiet, I mean active, sorry. You want to squeeze the legs together. If you're not using the block, press into the floor to get your legs active. And then you're going to hold the block on the longest end. And you're just going to take it around your head. We've been doing this the last couple of weeks. Take it all the way around your head and then twist toward that direction. And then go back, twist, bring it all the way around your head and then twist in the other direction. So what I want you to do is try to get the block behind your head. So a lot of us can do it up over our head, but can you get it behind? Up and around and back. And you've already warmed up your arms. So, you know, with being in tabletop, this will feel a little bit easier, I think. All right, we're going to do one more. All right, and then bring the block right to your ribs so you're touching your own body and pull so you feel your shoulder blades connect. And then you're going to sit in chair and push the block away from you. And then come back up and pull. So I want you on purpose to pull this in and then push it away. And then pull it in, squeeze, and push it away. Trying to get our lats and our middle back engaged when we're doing any kind of strengthening is challenging in a class where you're using body weight. You know, it's easier when you're using machines. Squeeze. Let's do one more. Press away and squeeze. All right, do one more round, all the way around, behind your head, and come back and twist. All the way around, and then twist. Can you get it behind your head? I keep bumping into my ponytail. See, I keep telling you, it's a hair day. All the way around, and twist. Go all the way back and around one more time. And twist. Good. Block against your own ribs. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Chair pose. Push. And come back up and squeeze. Chair pose. Push. And squeeze. So a lot of times it doesn't really even matter what we're doing as long as we're using a really good intention and we're activating whatever it is that we're trying to do. Good, last one, squeeze. Now stay with the squeeze, stay with the legs. Looks like you all have your blocks. Then lift your heels, lower down. Lift your heels, lower down. Lift your heels, lower down. So we're gonna do 10, this is 4. Try to keep the block squeezing and the block against your ribs and you're squeezing your shoulder blades. So you keep your upper body engaged as well as your lower body. I think that's 6, maybe 7, 8, and 9. Remember, working with your feet in this way is really, really good for mobility and down. Good. Get rid of your blocks. All right. We're going to go through a movement pattern before we pick up weights. When we do any kind of movement pattern and step back, we typically try to keep ourselves linear, yeah? Well, today I want you to play with this idea of a little bit of rotation, really small. So I'm going to show it to you from this angle first. I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to step back a little bit, and then I'm going to think about lunging down, right? And normally we go down straight. Today I want you to think about your head going right over your knee. So do you see how I'm turning a little bit? And the hip is going to turn slightly too. Don't try to hold it rigid. Let it move. And then you're going to come up and step. Okay, same leg. Try it again. Step, little rotation down, stand together. So if I show you this way, step, little rotation down, up. So I'm not making it big. If your head goes over to the side, you've gone too far. It's little. My head is right over my knee, but I'm rotated and up. So let's just go back and forth. So take a step, rotate down, up, and I don't care what you do with your arms, it doesn't matter. Down, I'm trying to get you to learn this pattern. Up, and your foot can be a little bit back, or it could be a lot back. It's really your choice. Now I've got one more little piece for you. The next time you decide to step back, step a tiny little bit wider than what you normally would, towards the side of your mat. And let your whole body rotate towards the direction you're turning in. Little rotation. Okay, can you feel that? So I'm stepping a little wider and I'm rotating toward the front knee. Back up and together. A little wider, rotate down, back up. One more time each side. So practice. We're practicing dynamic balance when you step and go back and forth. And we're also working legs, hips, and then come back and stand. Good. All right, so pick up your lighter weights. Which ones? Which ones? All right, so if your lighter weights are 3 pounds and lower, it's going to feel really nice. If they're 3 pounds or higher, it's going to feel a little bit harder. Okay, so we're going to work shoulders first. And I want you to take standing in Tadasana legs, mountain pose legs, really push into your legs and get your lower body involved, right? And then your hands are going to turn open, palms are towards the front of your body. And we're going to start with one arm. So your right arm, go up and around and back and down. And then take the other arm up and around and back and down. Now, if that felt okay, try both arms at the same time, up and around. They call this around the world, and back and down. So if your weights are lighter, this is going to be more range of motion. If your weights are a little heavier, it's a little bit more strength training wise. All right. And so the next time you come down, I want you to rotate your hands down towards your legs, palms down, and then lift a row right up to your chest and down. And 2 and down. And 3 and one more time. Good. Now flip your palms and go around the world, up and down. Now flip your palms and one row. And flip your palms up and around and down. Strong legs. Flip your palms one row. We're going to do 2 more. Flip your palms up and down. So palms are facing forward when you're around the world and facing your body when you're doing that row. Last time. Good. And up. Nice job. Hold your weights comfortably. In fact, let's put them back to your chest. And let's pay attention to that wide stance rotational lunge. Okay? Left leg steps back, rotates down. Up and together. Your right leg. Rotate down. Up. And so I've got my weights, I'm holding them right at my chest, and I'm using them as a little bit of a guide to go right over my knee. Okay, so you're trying to bend your back knee to come down to maybe get your weights close to your knee. And remember, we step a little wider and we rotate towards that knee in the front. It really does help work the front and back hip a little bit better than if you try to stay straight. Who knew? Let's do one more each side. So wider step, rotate in, up, down, wider step, rotate in, up, and down. Nice job. Put one of your weights down and hold the other one with both hands. So go back to around the world. Ready? I want your feet a little wider apart this time. Toes are forward. Hands are at your chest. Rotate around the world. And rotate around your head, around your head. and then rotate. And let your body enjoy this. And up and around. So we, play with different kinds of movement patterns so the body doesn't get too comfortable. We're always trying to keep it expanding, right? Last time each side, up and around. Remember, go behind your head as much as you can. Good, and then bring it to your ribs. This is what we do with the block. You're gonna sit and push, and come and pull. Sit and push, and come in and pull. Good. Your feet are a little bit wider apart. Your toes are forward. You're still doing a basic squat, but you're a little wider legs, so it's a little easier. Let's do 2 more. And pull. 1 more. And pull. Great. Weights down. Come to the top of your mat. Standing in Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale all the way down, and then take your left leg back in a high lunge. Remember, you can always use your blocks, right? But I want you to always think you can use your blocks to help you with the floor. Right hand comes to the sky in a twisted lunge. Breathing. And then see, can you straighten your front leg at all? It doesn't have to go perfectly straight. You'll feel it. So as you rotate your ribs open to the right, you're straightening your right leg, really talking to the lateral part of the leg. Exhale, hands down. Whether you have your hands on the blocks or on the floor, keep them there and step forward and switch legs. Take the other hand up, left hand. And keeping the back leg straight, can you start to pay attention to straightening your front leg? Chest is turning now to the left. If your shoulder bothers you, hand on your hip. Trying to elongate the side of the leg, moving it backward. You can see I can't straighten my leg all the way. And then exhale. Now, if you're using blocks, I would suggest you remove them to step back and come into your first full plank pose. Breathing, taking the moment. And then inhaling back to downward facing dog. Bring your feet to touch. I want you to lift your right leg up and turn the ankle to the sky. Lift it up as high as you can. Bring it up, 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 up. Good. Release and come back to center. And you can choose to come to plank pose here in the middle. Downward facing. Left leg comes up. Turn the ankle to the sky and lift the leg as high as you can. And then come back to center. And everybody do dog plank pose. Take a breath. Knees to the mat. Hands are on the mat, nice and strong. I want you to bend your elbows and come to the floor. Pressing down through your toenails, lifting your kneecaps away from the floor. Roll the shoulders on your back to lift up into a baby cobra. Hover your hands just off the mat, squeezing shoulder blades together. Remember, I was telling you how it's hard to get this part of the body. Squeezing, squeezing, press down through your toenails, and then land your hands right underneath or alongside your ribs. Keep the squeezing of the shoulders, knees on the mat, lift yourself back up. Extended child's pose. And we'll pause here. So we spend a lot of time moving. That's the contraction phase. And then we spend some time pausing, allowing the body to recover. That's the expansion phase. All right, from here, come back to tabletop. And this next movement pattern will be a little bit easier if you put your hands on blocks on the flat side. So you're just gonna bring the floor up a little bit for yourself. And I don't mean it's easier because it'll make it less challenging of an action. It's just easier because you give yourself more space, that's all. So let's take your right leg back behind you, stretching it straight out, and turn the ankle open like we did before. So you're lifting that ankle up, your chest is more forward. And as you exhale, I want you to bring the knee down and then cross it over and see if you can touch your other arm. Down, up, and lift. Down, cross, and touch. Now you may or may not be able to touch your arm, it doesn't matter. You're just trying to rotate your hip. Up and down. One more time. Now hold that leg up and down, keep your chest quiet, and just touch your foot to the floor and lift. Touch and lift. Touch and lift. Touch and lift. One more time. Now just as a little bit of a challenge, you can keep this leg up and see if you can hover the left knee off the floor. Challenging. Down, rest. Stretch back, child's pose with your hands on the blocks. Take a moment. And then we'll try the other side. So inhale, come up. Toes are turned under. Left leg stretches back, turn your ankle up. You'll lean a little bit to the right, but try not to overdo that. And as you lift the leg, you'll feel you'll get a little bit more range. And then exhale, knee down and cross over to your other arm. Down and up. Down and cross. So my knee is bypassing the floor to come to my other arm. That's why I wanted you to come up on the blocks. And open. Both arms are straight. Hold this last lift. Ankle is to the sky and just tap your foot and lift it. And tap your foot and lift it. Try to keep your body still. You're moving from your glute, from your hip. All right, last one. Hold up. And the final challenge is, can you push and lift off that right leg? Wow, that side was hard. I did the other side fine. Lower down, relax, child's pose, pause. Did you notice that you had one side stronger than the other? All right, and then take your feet forward so that they're underneath you and you're standing. You can move your blocks off the mat if you like. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale all the way down, let go. Inhale, come all the way halfway up, and then heels up by your hips again. And you'll notice that your shoulders are dropped down. When you push into your legs, you'll lift your chest up. Shoulders on your back. Bring your hands behind you like you're trying to touch the wall. There's those middle back muscles again. And then inhale, stand. Arms reach overhead. Palms to the heart. Pause. Okay, how we doing? Ready, good? We're gonna go back to those weird lunges. And I want you to choose a weight that's gonna be challenging for your legs. So if you've got 3 pounds as your only dumbbells, put them together to make 6. If you have heavier weights like an 8 or a 10, pick up one of those. Your legs are really strong and they can do a lot. And the arms are different, you know, they have a lot more susceptibility to injury because of the shoulders and the muscles are smaller. But the legs can do a lot. All right, so we're going to stand in that neutral position. We're going to go back to that rotated lunge, but this time we're going to take the hand to the floor. So watch. You're going to take your leg out to the side. You're going to rotate towards that front leg, and then you're going to try to touch the floor right by your front foot. Come back up, same side. Tap, down, up, same side. Out, down. So the pattern is hard because you step a little wider. It's something you're not used to. And then when you pull back, can you pull back and get that shoulder blade engaged on your back body? Like you're doing a one-armed row in, step wide, rotate, up, One more on this leg. Back, down, up, and together. Good, switch your arms. Same thing on this side. Think about your shoulder coming back and you feel that pull in your back body. And then take a little wider step. Bend and see if you can touch on this side. Come back up and stand. Wide, tap, down, and then just keep checking yourself. Is your head over your knee? Or are you going too far or not going far enough? Step wide, down. And so I'm on the ball of my back foot. And then I don't want you to go so wide that it's a lateral movement. It's like maybe a foot wider than what you would normally do. Up, one more, step, down, up, and together. Great. Hold on to your weight, whatever they are. If they're two, hold them with both hands. If they're one, hold it with both hands. I'm going to turn so you can see. Press into your feet, bring your weight to your chest. You're going to push it straight up and bend behind you. Push it straight up. And then I want you to squat down and bring your elbows to your knees. Push, bend, push, squat, push, bend, push. Now a little variation. We're going to do about 4 more. The next time you go up, turn a little bit to the right. So you're looking to like the right corner of your room. And then bring your weight down, turn to the left corner. So you're twisted a little bit in the upper body. Up, twist, both legs really strong. And you'll move your pelvis a little bit, that's fine. Back, up, and pause. All right, if you've got one weight, pick up 2. I want this to be a double armed action. This is the hardest thing we'll do. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Oh, yes. I have this wonderful internal clock that goes off right around 15 minutes. All right. We're going to go do the lunges, 1 on each side. And then we're going to try to push the arms overhead for a full straight squat. Okay, so it looks like this. Take a step. Bring one weight down. Whoops, wrong weight. Pull and squat. Up, step back, other weight, squeeze shoulders together and squat. Stand, step, down, squeeze shoulders and together and squat. Up, back, touch, up. So the whole time you're holding your arms in this stationary position, you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Up. One more time. Step back, touch floor, squeeze shoulders, hold here, slide your elbows forward, drop your hands, bring them up to your shoulders. Hands. So you want to hold your arms right by your waist. So you're not moving your upper body. You're only moving your elbow to your hand. Next 4, I want you to rotate hands to your shoulders and down, and hands to your shoulders and down. Okay, last 4. We're going to keep the hands in this position, down and up. So if you chose a fairly strong weight, this is fairly hard. And 3, down, and 4. Good, rest. Weights to the floor. Come to the top of your mat. Take a nice inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale all the way down. Step back with your right foot. Put your right knee on the mat. Left hand on your left thigh. Reach your right arm up. And then if you feel comfortable, you push into your left hand to lift the rib cage up higher, and maybe the pelvis drops forward a little. Looking for some space around the front body. Keep pushing into your left hand, keep reaching with your right. Big breath here. Exhale, right hand down on the floor next to your left foot. Pick up your back knee and twist open. Breathing, twisting. See if you can straighten your front leg. Now, I will tell you, if there's a block under your hand, it's a little bit more available. So you're pressing into that front foot, trying to straighten it while you're twisting open. Back heel off the floor. Breathing is a good thing. So this revolved variation of revolved triangle. Release hands. Step forward. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthening through the spine. Exhale all the way down. Take your left foot back now. Left knee on the mat. Right hand on your right thigh. Lift your left hand up over your head, bringing yourself upright. If you back up, it puts less stress here. If you try to lean forward, it'll put more. And then lift, push with your right hand and lift with your left to create more space in your upper body. Remember, contraction and expansion, it kind of goes in and out all the time. So finding that sweet spot, that spanda, that can help you move in and out with ease. Hand to the floor or on top of your block. Pick up your back knee and twist yourself open to the right, letting your right hand fly upward or stay on your leg. Pressing right leg straight. And if you press your leg straight and your body drops, keep trying to rotate the chest open. This is the work, the rotational pattern that can really be challenging. You could think about your left ribs moving to your right inner thigh. Good, one more breath. Exhale, hands down, no blocks. Step back to plank pose. All right, this next little series is yours to choose. And if you use the blocks when we did the table version of this, it's nice to do it here, but we are going to go into dog pose. And not everybody has these heavy cork blocks that don't move, so you have to decide. So if you're using blocks, use them. If not, hands are on the mat. Go back to downward facing dog and bring your feet together. Lift your right leg up, ankle to the sky. We did this once already. Now we're going to take the knee towards your chest and then forward to touch your opposite arm. Go back up, rotate ankle to sky, knee to chest, and across one more time. So we've done this a bunch of times. This is just the hardest. Good, downward facing dog. Take a moment in the middle. Feet are still together. And then try the left side. Left leg up, turn the ankle to the sky, reach, and then knee to chest, transfer to plank, touch your opposite arm. Reach, lift, in, and touch. Last time, up, and in, and touch. Great job. Downward facing dog to child's pose and rest. If you did that last bit with me, it was a little bit of a challenge, I know. It takes a lot of upper body strength, a lot of core strength, and a lot of hip mobility to get all that done. All right, so come around onto your back body. I'd like you to think about putting something under your head. So do you have a blanket or something that you could elevate your head with? And then I want you to pick up a weight that feels comfortable. We're gonna work the back body, the shoulders, the triceps, and the core all together. Okay? So pick up whatever weight you want, bring it, 2 hands are holding it right at your chest. The first part of this action is to push the weight up to the sky, keep your elbows bent, and you're gonna bring the weight over your head to touch the floor behind you. So your elbows are just slightly bent, there's not a lot of bend in them. And then as you exhale, from your shoulder girdle, from underneath your arm, pull the hand back up. The heavier the weight this is, the easier it is to feel. So if you grab the light weight and you're not really getting it, grab a heavier weight and see if you can feel it. All right, next time you come up, if you want, head leaves your platform, whatever you got your head on. So we did this in the beginning, only we did it with hands behind head, right? I want you to imagine that your shoulder blades are pulling your head off the floor. And I'm not asking for a big lift. So if you can get your head and your shoulders just off the floor, that's great. Now, keep going and go to one knee. And then go back. So if you're not lifting your head, bring your knee and your hand together, opposite sides. So you're just changing legs, right? So if I'm not lifting my head up, I'm gonna do it with my knee and my elbow to touch, not elbow, knee and hand to touch. If I'm lifting up my head, I'm gonna keep my feet on the floor so that I have somewhere to move toward. Okay? Last time. Alrighty, now leave your hands straight up to the ceiling and bend your elbows and press them to the sky. Bend your elbows and press them to the sky. Your weight's probably somewhere around the top of your head. Remember to be careful with yourself. I don't want you to bang yourself in the head with your weight. Last time. Okay, bring your weights down for a second. All right, the next bit we're gonna do is with one hand. So if you need a lighter weight, grab it. We're gonna take the arm out to the side, but we're only gonna do one hand. The other hand is gonna stay on our body somewhere. So I want you to push the hand straight up to the ceiling. I've got my hand on my stomach. Your feet can be a little wider apart if you need more stability, closer together if you're challenging yourself. You're gonna take the arm out toward the floor without touching the floor and come back up to center. Now the trick here is to keep your hips square and to keep your core body still. So if it feels impossible, walk your feet wider, it'll give you more stability. Now, as we're going, I want you to take your weight, bring it up, bend your elbow, and touch your opposite shoulder. Bring it up, open, hold steady, up, bend your elbow, touch your opposite shoulder. Go super slow with this. I'm going to put my feet together and my knees together to challenge myself a bit. If you're holding your feet and your legs together with this action, I want you to squeeze your legs together and press your feet into the floor. And what I love about doing this action is I can really tell what side is stronger and what side isn't. And although we are very asymmetrical beings, it's not great to be a lot weaker on one side. Okay, go ahead and pause, bring the weight to your body and just switch your hands. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So the weight goes to the ceiling, feet together or apart, other hand on your body, and just take the arm away from you, see what this side feels like, and come straight up. Do that once more without bending the elbow. Squeezing legs. And if you can't keep your pelvis still, that just means that it's a little bit weaker and you just have to have your feet wider apart. When you're ready, when your arm comes straight up, bend the elbow, touch your weight to the opposite shoulder. Up and open. Now, a lot of times what happens if we have multiple sets of weights is in the very beginning, we'll pick up a lighter weight. But as we've traveled through class, if we haven't exhausted ourselves, the weight will get heavier and heavier, just naturally. You'll feel like, oh, I've got to challenge myself a little bit here. And you'll pick up something that's heavier. I'm right now using an 8-pound weight, which it feels like if I went to 10, I wouldn't be able to hold myself steady. So I'm probably at the right weight. Whenever you do something bilaterally or unilaterally, one arm at a time, you really get a lot of information. Let's do one more. And then crisscross, remember touching shoulder and up. Good. Bring your weight down and set it off to the side. Separate your feet, let your knees swish side to side. Just finding a nice release here. And now find a side, just whatever side you want to be on. And I want you to pay attention to your shoulders. If you can bring your arms up into cactus, that's going to be helpful. Shoulder blades are on your back. And your feet are apart. You get a nice action here in your hip flexor and groin. Can you take your back leg and slide it up on top of your bottom leg? Trying to create the action of this top leg getting longer. Now, if it's too much in your shoulders, straighten your arms. And then the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is top leg's going to straighten. And you're going to push it away from you like you're trying to push something out of the way with your foot. Now, this is exactly where we were earlier with rotated, revolved triangle. Push, push, push. Open your shoulder. Nice deep breath. Release leg. Come back to center. And then just let your legs go the other way. Okay, so you're here. And then take your top leg and slide it on top of your bottom leg. And then see, while you're here, can you straighten that top leg and push it away from you while you're also keeping your torso moving in the opposite direction. So this is that spanda again, this contract and expand at the same time, or moving in and out of it, whichever way you want to think about it. Expanding and contracting, right? You feel that. And then releasing leg, coming back to center. All right, bringing your feet to neutral, hands down. We did this in the beginning. I want to see if there's any difference. So inhale, bringing your hips up away from the floor. Press down with your arms. So you're in this bridge pose. Okay. And then on your next inhale, lower your hips and bring your arms up over your head. Exhale, contract belly, pushing towards the floor with your hands and towards the sky with your hips. And what I want you to notice is, are you feeling any more freedom? Any more range of motion? Any more ability? Like, do you feel a little bit stronger? Hold at the top, arms are pressing into the mat, push and lift. Push and lift. Eyes are straight up, throat is open, jaws relaxed. Good, release hips down, pause. Okay. Bringing your knees to your chest, give them a little hug. And again, if it feels good to rock a little bit on your sacrum and lower back, do that. I like to pull my knees a little wider for my last one, but you can do straight into whatever is nice for your body. Shoulders relaxed, jaws relaxed. And then put your feet down on the mat, stretch your body open, reach arms long, reach legs long, big stretch. And then as you're ready, you can exhale, hands relaxed down by your sides, legs are open. This is Shavasana time. So finding what works for you, whether you've got a blanket over your body or bolster or blocks under your legs. Maybe you've got an eye pillow. And as we always do at the end of class, when you get yourself set up and you feel really settled, take a conscious, nice deep breath. Let the exhale bring you into stillness. Take a longer and deeper breath. Slowly starting to stretch and move Coming back to the body. And as you feel ready, you can bend your knees and roll to a side, pausing there for a moment. Using your hands, gently pressing yourself up to sitting. Eyes closed, hands at heart center. Closing the practice today, as always, with gratitude for our deep body intelligence and wisdom and our guiding light. May our light always shine brightly, and may we always see the light in each other. Namaste.